Welcome to Refined Resilience. I'm your host, Carrie Hill, and on this podcast, we highlight the small moments that shape our journey toward greatness and remind us that resilience isn't linear. Each episode features stories of perseverance and the little victories that often go unnoticed, illustrating that resilience is about finding strength in everyday life. Oh my goodness, my friends, I'm so excited to be here on another episode of Refined Resilience, and I am thrilled with my guest, the most incredible, awesome, most resilient, most fun person that I know is Cierra Condie, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Cierra. She's a California native and BYU Idaho graduate in communications, and she began her career at Franklin Covey in business development and social media strategy. After taking time off to raise her family, she returned to the workforce in 2022, joining Minky Couture in public relations and quickly rose to brand manager. Under her leadership, Minky Couture grew corporate sales by 390%. Oh my goodness. And secured high impact partnerships with BYU, UVU, NBA, All-Star events, Paramount Pictures, Crumble, and major charities like Sapria and the Maloof Foundation based here in Utah. Named one of Utah Valley Business Q's 40 Under 40, Cierra also serves on the WBN Advisory Board and other state committees, and she lives in Mapleton, Utah with her new husband and 5 children. Hi, girl.
Hello. How are you?
I am so good. Okay, you've just done a few things,
it's weird. I look back and I'm like, that's all in about 3 years.
Wow,
I mean,
Cierra.
3 years. I and my life looked very differently 3 years ago.
Wow.
Stay-at-home mom to 3 boys, and then where I'm at now, it's weird hearing people read my bio like that.
Yeah, 3 years. Yeah. Well, but you had so much good history beforehand too,
I did.
right?
Yeah,
so there was like a good foundation for you to catapult.
Yeah.
That's okay. So let's talk about 3 years ago. What was happening in your life? Like you said, stay-at-home mom, 3 boys.
Yeah.
What transition came
it's
into
so
your life?
crazy. I got married when I was at BYU, Idaho, got married in college, which is every girl's dream. I feel like if you're, getting in married housing and you get to, be married and stuff. And it was amazing. I was married for 13 years, and 3 years ago, we decided to get a divorce. And so it was heartbreaking. I mean, we were married, like I said, for 13 years, and we had 4 kids together, 3 with us, and we had one that passed away. And so we had gone through a lot together, and we just were at a point where it just wasn't going to work. And so here I am, stay-at-home mom for 10 plus years, right? Wow. Granted, I had a degree and some experience, but I was like, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
And so it was a very, very large leap that I had to take. And it took a lot of courage, but I was able to kind of jump back into the workforce with Sandy, and it was that's a crazy story in itself, because it was something that I couldn't have predicted would have led me to here.
Yeah. Well, I love that story. You shared it with me last year when we met. Talking about the short window of time that you've been accomplishing these amazing things. And I feel the same way, Cierra. I feel like, I don't know at what point we just take off. Yeah. Like, I don't know what that marker is where we just exponentially see growth in ourselves and in the people around us. But it's been like really the last maybe 2-3 years of just networking and meeting people and just watching a change, and it's so interesting that this has been yours. It's like,
and accomplishing things that you didn't realize you were capable of accomplishing. Like, you're just like, wait a minute, like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Yeah. Why I shouldn't be doing this. Yeah. But it's crazy.
Yeah. So I'd love for you to share the story about coming back in. So first of all, congratulations. You were a single mom to these 3 kids, and you've been through some hard things.
Yes. And at the time they were, 2, 5, and 8. Yeah. And so, very hard age for this to go through. And so I found myself needing a job, and it kind of hit me, when you're going through the divorce itself, that's your sole focus. All of a sudden this light bulb goes off, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to get a job.
Yeah.
Like,
right. Yes.
There's only so much I'm going to be getting from child support.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to need to get a job.
Right.
So I actually live next door to the owner of Minky, Sandy. Her daughter actually lives next door to me, Jacqueline. So we're really good friends. And so our birthday's the same day, June 6th, if anyone's, you know, looking to.
Well, happy almost birthday.
And so it was June 6th and Jacqueline, my husband had moved out June 1st. And so my birthday comes around and Jacqueline's like, hey, you should come to dinner with me and my mom. And I'm like, you and the owner of Minky, like me and you and the owner. Yeah, let's do it. Like, and so we go up to the Foundry Grill at Sundance and Sandy Hendry, if you already don't know, she's very bougie. So it bleeds into dinners as well. So she orders every appetizer.
Amazing.
Every entree, every dessert. It was fantastic. Yeah. So I'm already like having a good time, but then I had this like feeling in my chest where I was just like, kind of like that heart pounding where I was like, you need to tell her that you want a job with her. You need to say that you can work for her. You know, you have a experience, you can do this. Yeah. I'd already loved the product. So I'm sitting across from the owner of Minky Couture and I'm thinking, how many times is this going to happen in my life where I can and so I pitched myself to her right there. And I just said during the dinner, and I just said, look, I love your products. I love your blankets. I love what it stands for and how you give back. I could sell this for you. I can work this for you. I would love to market for you. Anything I can do to make an impact with Minky Couture, please give me a chance. Yeah. I have a degree. I have experience. And she goes, I don't know if I can afford you because you have a degree and all these things. And I said, I've been out of work for 10 years. I said, I need a job, Sandy. Yeah. Like, that's just where I'm at. Right. So she goes, okay. She's like, give me your resume and I will get you a formal interview. And I was like, okay, halfway there, right? Like, okay. So I get my resume. I had called my brother and I'm like, help me get this ready. And so I met with our COO, Christine, and interviewed with her. And July, so I met with Sandy June 6th is when I pitched myself. July 5th was my first day. Wow. And she brought me on. She goes, you know, we actually need someone in Utah County. This couldn't be better timing. At the time, marketing consisted of Sandy and Christine. There was no marketing team. Wow. And so I came on and my first order of business was to get with the chambers and things like that. And a year later, you know, got promoted to brand manager. And within that time, I've trained, you know, several marketing professionals with me. Some have left, some are still there. Our team's now about 7 people. Wow. And it's been insane. Like, honestly, and I think every day, what would I do? 2 things. What would I do without Sandy Hendry? But also, what would I have done if I didn't pitch myself to her that day and really take my shot and have the guts to do that? So, yeah, it was crazy.
Well, okay. So first of all, love that you listened to your intuition. Yes. Like that intuitive voice that was like overwhelming. I love that. And Cierra, that's so your personality anyway. You're just like, I can do this. I'm going to figure it out. Even if I can't, I'm going to say I can.
Yes, absolutely. I will find a way.
Right?
That's part of being a mom though,
that's
Carrie.
Right.
Like,
that's right.
You will find a way to make your kids happy, to make them successful. You will find a way. I will find a way. Because it wasn't just about me getting a job. It was about providing for my family.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know that journey. So I really love this story because there's so many similarities, Cierra, to you and me. And it's just like the grit. It's just the get in, that I will, nobody can stop me. And if you try, I might pause and cry for a minute and then I'm going to try again. And then I'm going to keep trying, you know? And so that intuition though plays such an important part. And I think, you know, when you are going through divorce, you are going through a trauma, you know, you mentioned you lost a child, you're grieving probably still through this process. Yep. That intuition can get really muddy. Yes. It can get really lost in the emotions of the trauma that you're experiencing. Sure. And so how did you, Cierra, stay in tune with that? How, going through all of that, how did you know that that was your voice and not some outside influence, right?
Nerves, right? Yeah. Not like just, you know, you're nervous and just do it. Yeah. Honestly, I have always just, my kids are right here at all times. They're just always right here. And so I honestly know what I'm capable of. Yeah. Right. So I knew that, like you said, if I put my mind to it, I would find a way and I could make this work. And I saw the opportunity that she needed someone. And so I just told myself, I can do this. And I think it was a lot of self-manifestation. It was a lot of, you know, reaffirming to myself, like, I can do this. I did a lot of journaling, about my journey, just getting started and where I was going. I stumbled a lot at Minky in the first year. I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't know, finding that the business world looked very different 10 years ago than it did when I joined. And so I had to kind of stumble and fall, but I had to get back up every time and prove myself to Sandy. And so I think I just felt I knew my limits. And I think a lot of people don't know their limits. They just think they can, you know, they do whatever and that's fine. But I personally know my limits, especially after losing a son. The amount of, what's the word? The amount of courage that it takes to go through something like that really, it provides me strength, honestly, strength to push through really, really hard times. And so it was a thing I was about to tackle that I had no idea what it consisted of, but I knew I had the ability and the strength to push through. Yeah.
Well, and I think too, you said, you know, your kids are always at the forefront of your mind. I think for moms who are married, who never get divorced, that's true. For single moms, it's even more true.
Yes.
I think because you are it. You are it. You're the defender, the dinosaur hunter, the gardener, everything. The taxi driver, all the things, right?
Everything.
And if you don't show up, no one's showing up for you, right?
Yeah.
So for me, in my experience, it was my kids. I got to show my kids that I can get up. I have to show them that I can do this. We can do this.
Right.
Like it's so interesting how your kids become your partner in that space.
Oh my gosh. I mean, my son, he was, like I said, he was, 8 at the time. Maybe he was 9, but, he was the man of the house.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was, I would wake up, I'd get ready for work and he'd say, you look really pretty today, Mom. I hope you have the best day. And then I'd come home and how was your day? And it was wonderful to see him grow in that space, but also he was taking out the garbage. He was helping me with Maverick, my baby. And he was being the example and the big brother. And so I always get really, I'm going to tangent here.
Yeah.
But I always get, I'm 50-50 here. My kids are going to grow up knowing that I was so strong for them. I pushed through. I got a job. I provided and I took care of them at the same time. Sandy, one thing, she was so good about letting me be home at 3:30 every day for my kids so I could be there when they got home from school. So I'm thinking, this is what they're going to take home. I don't know if that's true. I also think there's a part of them that's going to say she worked all the time.
Yeah.
She was always gone. She always had to be on the phone, you know? And so I get torn between what legacy am I really leaving with my kids? I'm in a spot now where I have to work for the time being, but it's not forever, right? I'm married now. Brandon has his own practice. He's as a therapist and he's brilliant. And so it's not that, but I'm in this job that I love, right? Yeah. But what are your kids taking away, right? Yeah. I mean, my kids are young. We're ages 5 to 15 now, and so I have this struggle of like I put all this responsibility on my kids, which is so good for them, but where's the line? Yeah, you know?
Yeah. I think that's a common struggle, Cierra. I don't think you're alone in that by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. I think there's always that. I remember when my kids were young and I was on this journey similar to you. I worked while my kids were young, self-employed, went out and found the work so that I could contribute somehow to my family. And I remember how different my parenting looked from my older kids, my 2 older kids to my youngest. I was like, oh, here's a bunch of ABC cards and some cars and like, oh, now there's an iPad involved. Here's an iPad.
Yes, so true.
Like we're good. And I think it's straddling that line between how much do I feel fulfilled by the work that I'm doing. If it's necessary work and I have to do it, there's no option.
Right.
And somehow that guilt has to go into a more productive space that says, if I don't do this, the outcomes are greater and more challenging than if I do this, because this way, at least my kids are being taken care of and fed, and maybe all of their emotional needs are not met, but they know I love them. They know that they're going to have food at the end of the day and shoes. And I will show up where I can, when I can. And they know that. Right. And I think leaving those lines of communication, I think you're really good at this too, Cierra, leaving those lines of communication open that say, I love you so much. And because I love you so much, I'm going to go fight the dragons. Right.
I think like our kids are so intuitive too. They pick up on everything. Of course,
it's you and Brandon.
I mean, but like they pick up on everything. I mean, but I remember last night, even just last night, I drove to Ogden for work. I come home from Ogden, stop at the grocery store, get dinner ready, and then I go straight to baseball. And then I come home and I'm getting dinner ready, and I'm getting on a time crunch because we got to get to baseball. Right. And I'm at the stove, and Maverick, my 5-year-old, comes in and I hit my head. I'm so sad. And he's crying. Course. And I thought, I got to keep mixing. So I drop the spatula. I go straight to him and I give him a kiss. That's what I hope they remember. Right. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I hope they remember, that they know that when it comes down to it, I'm at every game. I'm, always taking care of them and always putting them first in those situations. So there are times where I just can't,
You just can't.
I shut the door, lock it. I'm on a call. Right. But I would hope that I do my best. Right. We try to do our best. Yeah. And so I hope those are the moments they remember.
Oh, Cierra, I have no doubt. No doubt that's what they're going to remember. And two, I think it's really, we beat ourselves up so much in this space because, look, if you are a single household income and your spouse is able to provide fully for you from top to bottom, and you have the luxury of staying home to raise your kids,
then great.
Amazing. Then great. Count yourself one of the most lucky women in the world that you have the opportunity to do that. Most couples are not doing that. Right. Most couples are dual income people. Yep. They're both juggling things. Everyone's living paycheck to paycheck at the moment, you know? And it's just like, so I think my thought is just, Cierra, you show up in the moments that matter. You're there to say goodnight. You're there in the morning. Yeah. They can call you when they need you. Even if you're on a call, they know that you're still going to see it. You'll respond as soon as you can. Yes. And the example that you're giving them of being able to manage significant problems independently, that's a gift.
I hope so.
That is a gift. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really do. I logically know that, right? Yeah. As a mom,
but your mama heart.
Right. We logically know that. But sometimes I feel like I put too much on them. Yeah. But I'm like, no, you know what? This is good for them. Yeah. This is good. Think about how we were raised.
Oh my gosh.
Outside all day on the streets, eating Otter Pops and Top Ramen, and then we came home.
Yeah. My mom didn't even know where I was for 7 hours.
And so it's like, why are we so hard on ourselves? We're freaking rock stars.
Actually, moms of that era probably had a much better experience.
They probably did. Seriously, my mom always says, it wasn't that hard. It was fine. You guys were great. I'm like, what happened? Like, this is like, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone sometimes.
She's like, I didn't even know where you were all day. Yeah. It was great.
Yeah. So funny.
But I love the building, I guess the building blocks of your story, because I think if we go back to that moment of like, holy crap, I have to get a job. That realization, and for any single moms that are out there who have been in that situation, that is an overwhelming, daunting moment when you have been out of the workforce for so long, or possibly never even in the workforce. Yep. To have to get to that place where all of a sudden you're like, I got to find a job. Well, so I'd love to.
I was just going to say, this is the hard part about that, Carrie, is that, as I mentioned, my husband left the house June 1st. It was June 6th. I didn't even have time to mourn what just happened.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, honestly, hindsight is always 20/20, but I'm like, I honestly didn't even take time. Yeah. And so I think I had to heal throughout. I mean, I'm still healing in some ways. And it's like, I didn't have any moment to mourn because I had to show up for my kids.
That's right.
And I had to wear a mask at home, and then I had to wear a mask at work, and I had to wear masks all the time. It was exhausting. I feel like most people, when they get divorced, they have this mourning period, right? They have the luxury, not even the luxury, but sort of, to just take a couple weeks, just cry, just be in the moment, and just mourn what you just lost and what's ahead and the unknown. And I didn't have any of that. Yeah. So looking back, I don't think I realized how strong I was at that point, because don't get me wrong, a large part of resilience is also being weak and embracing the weak and then crying, because I cry a lot. So it's like, you say the happiest people are the ones that struggle the most, that couldn't be more true.
Yeah.
Like,
agreed.
I mean, it just is the reality. And so, I do have lots of moments where I'm weak and I cry, but that was a hard jump, fast jump.
I really appreciate you saying that, because I think, I just feel so much of your energy is the same energy as mine. Like that's, I just didn't waste time. You didn't waste time. It was like, no, I have a job to do. I have a mission to accomplish. I have a thing that I have to focus on. And that takes precedent over the mourning at this moment.
Yep.
Like, so the mourning is just going to have to be what it is, because the need is that I find income, you know? And so I'd love to hear from you, Cierra, like what were some of the steps? So even though and your situation's so beautiful too, because you knew someone that knew someone, right?
Right.
And not all women have that experience.
Right.
They don't have.
Such a blessing.
Yeah.
Such a blessing.
So I would love to know, what were the steps that you took aside from that intuitive grit to just go out and put yourself out there, which I think is the number one key. Who do you know, right? Just start knocking on your neighbor's doors. Like, do you know anyone that owns a company? Do you know anyone, right? Phone call, text, whatever it takes. Start asking and building that network for yourself. How did you shape yourself from that moment of saying, I need a job, to being hired? And you said, you stumbled a lot, you had some grieving, you were doing a lot of things at the same time. What were the steps that you went through, Cierra, to make sure that you were showing up and maximizing your talent in that space, while also like succinctly doing all this other stuff?
Yeah, a lot of compartmentalization, like a lot of different ways of being. Like I said, I wore masks, and I say that very as it sounds. I mean, I literally had to wear a mask at work. My job is public relations. My job is talking to people, being excited about Minky, which I genuinely am. So that really helped. I mean, talk about a company a better company you could work for. I mean, something that gives back so much. So being able to lean into such good that I was doing and really being able to see that helped me show up for work a lot. With my kids, it was the same thing. I mean, I just kind of had to put them first, in the sense that I had backstory. When this all went down, I lost a lot of friends. I lost some family at the time, and it was really very lonely, very lonely. In fact, the only person that was really there for me was Brandon. And so it was a very difficult time, and I'm thinking, I still have to show up for my kids. I still have to show up for my job. I still have to show up for myself. I have a quote that my cousin gave me after my divorce, and it's hanging above my vanity, and it says, "She designed a life she loved." And I look at that to this day, every single day. And I think that is exactly what I did. It was very purposeful. Everything I did was very purposeful. It was very intentional, the way I showed up for work and the way I showed up for my kids. And then at night, that is when I let my guard down. And that is when I cried. And that is when I wrote my journal. That is when, I would talk to the people that were my friends at the time through and through, my best friend from high school and things like that. Just at nighttime was kind of my bed. When I closed that door, my bedroom was my solace. And so I learned to hold it together.
But do you feel like, I feel like for me, you just, the cliche, right? Like fake it till you make it. Like, right? And you think, I don't want to fake it. I want to actually be it. But that is actually the true transition of that is, you said you wore masks, but I think, Cierra, too, like how you showed up in those moments became who you are in that brand.
Absolutely.
Right?
And you want to know why? Because I started going to these networking events and I was very transparent. How are you? How long have you been with Minky? A couple months. I just got divorced.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking about leaning into transparency, and I did, and it was so beneficial. I met so many amazing people to this day that I'm still friends with, you included. But being able to kind of just show your scars and just say, look, I'm kind of a hot mess. Like we don't always have to show up. I always take pride in how I look. I always want to make sure I look good.
Right.
But I have no problem saying this is a really hard day for me. And being able, and you'd be so surprised how those relationships that I built, some of them turned into business as well. It was great. It was like, that. You know what? I trust you. I trust you, your brand. I trust you because, you were authentic, and then it turned into, X, Y, and Z. And so I think a large part of the success in my job has been transparency.
Mm-hmm.
I am very open and sharing with people. I don't go into too much detail. Sometimes I do, but like, but I make sure that people know that I'm real, you know, and it's not just, I'm faking it until I make it. I am to an extent,
right.
But I'm also being very authentic, which I think people appreciate.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah.
And I think there's this, I did anyway. I was like, I can totally do that. I have no idea. Like,
yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
I will get that for you.
Absolutely.
How am I going to get that for you?
100%. Yeah.
Like, but the answer, the willingness to do the thing was the thing that actually became the brand,
right?
My brand, right? Is because now I knew that I could because I said I would.
Right.
And I did. So I know I could the next time and the next time, you know, and I see that in you too, that the masks are not masks when they become real.
Yeah.
When they become who you are.
Yeah.
For women, Cierra, and this is a WBN question.
Okay.
And this is the Women's Business Network for anybody that doesn't know what WBN stands for, but of Utah Valley. For women that are coming back into the workforce right now, Cierra, that are in similar situations with maybe zero support, how can they take advantage? And this is kind of a middle of an awkward time, but it's a really important question to ask this.
Yeah, sure.
How can they link up with the Women's Business Network to learn resources, skills, like how they can come back into a networking capacity and build those relationships?
Honestly, I think that would be a great event to have. Honestly, I mean, if you go to the Utah Valley Chamber, you'll find the WBN website and things. But you know, I'm just on the advisory board, but looking over that, I think that would be a great event to get people to kind of, you know, focus on that, on single moms getting back in. And have people like myself and you that have gone through it and kind of giving them words of wisdom, feedback, like, you know, having that grit and that resilience is just key, I mean, to success. And it's really a personality thing too, though, Carrie, because I don't know if a lot of people have it in them. Yeah. I don't know if a lot of them are capable to show up certain ways. So just being able to have that support system then to just be with you on that ride, you know, would be great. So I think an event would be great.
Okay.
But I mean, if you go through the Utah Valley Chamber website, you will be linked to the WBN. You can find access there.
So you heard it here. We're going to create an event.
We're going to create an event. Everyone on the WBN board, that just happened.
It's coming. Just say it. So, no, but I really appreciate that. Twofold. Number one, the direct, you know, link to the WBN, but also, Cierra, you're right. I spend a lot of time thinking about the components of resilience. It's different for everybody. And it doesn't always have to be this big tragic thing that you go through.
Right.
But what creates a resilient human?
Yeah.
And I think you're right. There are just, for me, I don't know about you, but I think initially, because I just said, oh, I have to do this and I'm going to do it, I assumed that everybody else was just doing it too, right? Like,
right. Yeah.
We're all just doing it because we have to.
Yeah.
And come to find out, like, I had friends in my network that were like, how are you even functioning right now? How do you do? And I thought, well, aren't you functioning? Like, we're all we're all the same, right? It didn't even register to me, Cierra, that the capacity for resilience may not be there for some people.
Yeah, I don't think it is. And I think that we're great. You know, I would love to be a resource to anyone going through a hard time.
Yeah.
Like you know, especially after losing my son, when you go through such hard times, you get that courage and that strength to push through, which is something I don't think I had before. Yeah. Honestly, I really don't. I think I was a strong person. I think I was as strong as I am now. But, you know, we all go through hard times. They're inevitable. Why not do it with a smile on your face?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know? Like, why not just embrace the people around you? I think growing with women around you that aren't your family is just so important to success.
So important.
So important for your mental health, for your emotional health, for your, you know, in business, just having women around you that are your cheerleaders. I think that is priceless. Yeah. And very key to resilience, because resilience is you falling, but getting back up. Right. Yeah. So you're obviously going to hit the hard times, but who's helping you get up? Yeah.
Well, and I really appreciate that, because I think there's a difference between, this is the group of women that I complain to. that we all feed off of that negative energy together, versus this is the group of women that actually there's no room for complaining because we're so hyper-focused on moving forward, right? And there's a time and a place for both of those things.
Sure.
But I think when you're out of that kind of victim mentality, which you are a victim, there are women who are real victims of really traumatic, horrific things. And even neglect and abandonment, I would stick that in that category too. Mourn it, feel it, allow the storm to come through you and accept that that is what's going to happen. And then find the tribe that's going to get you to the next level, right? And so I think women that are in growth mode, like within the WBN, we know a lot of women's organizations that are focused on elevating and uplifting and kind of moving forward. But I'd like to be a resource for those women too.
Yeah.
It's a very lonely place to be when you're not sure where to go to find that group of people.
Right. Yeah. And I think that, how we all mourn so differently is just so key, because I'm sitting here thinking, we're so strong. We didn't take time to mourn, and we got out there and we accomplished what we needed to accomplish. But I'm thinking, I bet there was a large part of me and you that didn't want to lean into the mourning.
Oh, girl.
That did not want to address or look in the mirror and say, oh my gosh, this is happening to me.
Yeah.
So I think the women that actually are mourning and really going through it are a lot stronger than we give them credit for.
I would agree.
Because I think they are going through something and facing that head on, whereas me, I can't speak for you, but I'm facing it daily.
Yeah.
Right. So it's this, not necessarily my divorce even, but other things that I face daily because I don't take the time to mourn.
Yeah.
Even losing my son, his birthday was on Tuesday. He would have been 10.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Wow.
And I'm still having a hard time.
Wow.
This should be a point where I look back and I go, I'm so grateful I had him. What sweet memory. And I'm still a hot mess. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like, but again, I had Miles at the time where I couldn't lean into it. I had to say, no, I got to be there for Miles. I got to put my smiley face on. No time for mourning.
Right.
And here we are 10 years later. So, I mean, it's just, I think the women that are mourning in a I don't want to say proper sense, but in a way where you're facing it head on, kudos and hats off to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. No, and I think if we don't take that time, or if we don't have the luxury of having that time, it shows up later, Cierra. It shows up in different ways, and sometimes, to your point, I feel that can be even more shocking to just be going about your normal day. And then all of a sudden you just have this wave of something that was triggered by something. Yep.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, I don't even know how I got from there to here.
Oh yeah.
But here I am. Yeah. And now I'm in my car crying.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Oh yeah. Or you're with the client and you're like, this is fun. Like this just took a turn. But then it's so funny. I will say, even the times that when I'm with clients and something personal comes up, which inevitably does when you're with me, if anyone knows me, but they are right there with you.
Yeah.
And not just feeling it. They've gone through something similar.
Yeah.
And then they get to open up. And it's just, it opens up this whole relationships over business vibe. And I love that. And I love people. I love relationships. And so, I just think it's, honestly, I think it's a gift to be able to do that.
I think so too. And I think inherently we are given qualities. I think divinely we come with qualities that put us in positions to lean into being resilient, into that grit. Like we have one thing that I really love to do with when I do a keynote or a workshop on resilience is, could we just sit in a space right now where you write down 3 to 5 qualities about yourself that you like, 3 to 5 really incredible challenges that you've overcome. And then I want you to correlate the inherent quality that got you through that. Oh my gosh, look at you.
That's amazing.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Like, what do you
Didn't
mean?
even know you
What
had
do
it
you
in
mean
you.
you're not resilient or gritty or you can't do it? Absolutely you can. You are naturally given the opportunity to do that. So I think my earlier point in saying, I don't know that everybody has the capacity to do it. I do believe everyone has the capacity, Cierra. I believe that your capacity is limited when you don't know what you can do.
Absolutely.
Right. So having people around you, that community, that
point out what you're capable
that can
of.
point out what you're capable of is vital
Very much
for you entering that kind of resilient transition. And for any women that are listening out there who are struggling with this right now, I think Cierra and I both can say, we want you to know you are inherently capable of going through this.
Absolutely.
And you will make it on the other side.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's something that I never thought, what I have now, I never thought I would have.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of like surreal sometimes to think like the actual love of my life, you know, like something you see in the movies is real. Like what's happening right now. Like,
and like you said, I mean, Brandon was there for the journey. He was down for it,
and, you know, it was hard. He watched me go through a lot of hard, and he was already 2 years out from his divorce, and I'm going through mine so fresh. And for him to be there was just, I mean, it was more meaningful than I had ever hoped for because of how many people I lost along the way.
Yeah. So. Gosh, that's hard. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah. And I just want to acknowledge your son and share that I'm sorry for that loss as well, Cierra.
Thank you.
And, you know, we had a couple on. I did an interview earlier with a couple who the fiance had lost her son. He drowned when he was 2 or 3. And she said something that was really profound. And she said, I just have understood that we're on this journey together. We're just doing it from 2 different spaces, but we're walking the journey. We're still on it together. We're still moving forward together. And she said, and I have told him how to talk to me, which I never thought of doing. Yeah. You know, I lost my sister, and I've said that on lots of interviews because it changes everything in your life, you know? Yeah. And I never thought to actually say to my sister, hey, send me some sunflowers today. So I know that you're there. Like, I just had never thought of that. And so I just thought that was beautiful. Her thing was butterflies with her son. Cute. And now every time she sees butterflies, she's like, I asked him to send it to me, and he did, you know, it's just this beautiful thing. Yeah.
I had, the day of Jack's funeral, that was his name, Jack. It was pouring rain. And I just remember like thinking, I mean, obviously that morning is a nightmare for any mom. Yeah. But you're getting ready to go and the rain's coming down and we're driving and it's just pouring. I open the car door. We have an umbrella walking to the spot, the cemetery, and everyone's already gathered into the tent. And I just am dreading and just, I'm so numb. Like I remember just sitting there and thinking I couldn't even breathe. And as soon as our bishop got up to start conducting, it stopped raining and the sun came out. Wow. And so every time that happens now where it stops raining and the sun comes out, I feel him. Like I can just feel his presence.
Oh, I love that.
And my mom has she always puts a pinwheel at his spot. I don't like saying his, whatever. I just say a spot. Yeah. A pinwheel. And it would not move the whole time, and then she'd say something and it would start spinning. Oh my god! So I think all of us kind of, you know, it's her grandson, right? My son, her grandson. I think we all kind of cling to things that we hope are true, right? I mean, we don't really know, but I genuinely felt him, you know, come out at that point, kind of just like, Mom, I'm with you.
Wow, I love that. Yeah. Was he walking with you, Cierra? As I'm sure he was, but did you feel him in this transition in your life? And what strength did that give you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think if I'm being honest, I think that's why I stayed in my marriage as long as I did. Let me just put this on the record. I loved my ex-husband. Yeah. He is an amazing man. We just weren't a good match. And so I think after we lost him, I had 2 miscarriages, and then I had Cohen, my middle son, and then we had Maverick. And I think we kept having kids, and I think that was kind of what was gluing us. But then once we got divorced, I finally had to convince myself, Jack is still my son and he's still his son, right? We can be apart and still have him with us. Yeah. And so I think it was very inspiring to my kids for have me verbalize that to them and let them know that Jack is still our family. He is still your brother, my son, your dad's son. And every night to this day, they bless Jack in our prayers every night. And we visit him once a month, and you know, he's very much a part of our lives. And so I think just being able to talk about him really strengthened me, because it was, I have moments still. I had a moment on Tuesday on his birthday where I'm like, is he even proud of me? Or is he thinking like, way to go, Mom, like you split up our family and now this, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like I have moments where any human would think like, well, it looks very different. I'm looking at the pictures. We take a picture by his stone every birthday. And I'm like, those pictures have progressively gotten different. Yeah. Right. But then I looked at this last one, and we had so many people there. You know, we had Brandon's parents, we had my parents, we had my nephews, we had Nate and his wife, my ex-husband and his wife. And it was just like, and I thought I had to shift my paradigm and think, now there's just more people to love him.
Yeah. So, that's beautiful. Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, Cierra, I think the couples that we've interviewed, it's been really about coupling resilience. How do you take potentially very different experiences in life, culture, upbringing, marriage experiences, right? Relationships, whatever that is, kid experiences, and pull those together so that you really are operating as a resilient team, if you will. And so for you and Brandon in a blended family, how have you really built the foundation for being resilient moving forward with your family?
Yeah, I think we each have strengths for sure. I think a lot of humility for sure, because, you know, Brandon and I were used to doing things our own way, right? As a single parent, you're used to doing things a certain way. He's used to doing things a certain way. But also saying, you know what, you're really good at this, and your family's really good at this, and then my family's really good at this. And honestly, lots of communication, being able to just weigh the pros and cons out loud with each other. Do we agree all the time? Absolutely not. I would definitely say, Carrie, we have not perfected this by any means. We're only 10 months in, right?
Yeah, but it's so great. This is the perfect time to talk about it, because it's happening now.
Yeah, we are a work in progress, that's for sure. Yeah. But I will say, Brandon and I both want to build happy, healthy, successful, confident kids. We want them to think nothing but positive things about their real mom and real dad. We want to just be... I don't like the word bonus parent. I like the word stepmom, honestly. I mean, I love my stepmom. I talk about her all the time. I think stepdads are great. Love my stepdad. And so I think just being able to see each other's strengths for what they are and our weaknesses, and saying, I need help in this area. I'm not good at this. Right. And so, I think a lot of humility and a lot of, kick your ego to the curb. Like just embrace the fact that you both have strengths and just lean into that.
Yeah. I love that you said that. And I think for single moms, sometimes like that dating relationship dynamic is, I don't want to parent you too. Yes. But I will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes you just like I think something that happens, and I've talked with a couple different people about this. They're just inside, outside the studio. It doesn't matter, just in conversation, I think when that feminine energy gets transferred into a masculine state of mind, of being, there is something... There is definitely a transition that happens within you where you do become stronger. Right. I think you do become a little more hard to the things that you were potentially or possibly softer with before, right? Different things become important. The way you talk to different people is different, right? Like you start to adapt into that space. And sometimes you can lose touch with the fact that you're still a woman. Yes. And that you still... not because you need it, but because you desire to have a partner with you in the game. And sometimes when you work so hard, Cierra, to do the thing and kill all the dinosaurs, that's a hard wall to break down a little bit for you to remind yourself, 100%. Oh, someone's taking care of me. Yeah. Okay.
Brandon has to remind me of that daily. I mean, daily. And I struggle with this, Carrie. Like this is something...
I do too. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I'm a very strong personality. Yeah. I have no patience. I mean, in general, across the board, zero patience. I also don't tolerate disrespect. I don't tolerate. So there's certain things that I'm like, I will say though, in my previous marriage, I was the one that was laying down the law all the time. So
Yeah.
I want to get out of that driver's seat.
Right.
And now I have a man that's saying, get out. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no. Like,
I know.
I'm like, no, I'm here. Like, this is my spot.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I can take the wheel. Let me do this, you know? And it's a constant reminder every day. We were just having a conversation this the other day where he's like, let me, just let me. And I'm like, it takes everything in me because it doesn't go a certain way that I think, or, you know, that should go down a certain, you know, discipline a certain way or, you know, talk a certain way, that it's wrong.
Right.
And it's like, that's not the case. I need to just, Brandon is, those of you who don't know Brandon, my husband's brilliant. He's a therapist and he owns his own practice, and he is a very wise man.
Yeah.
And not only that, he's been through a lot.
Right.
He's very strong, and he's got a good body, but whatever. But sidebar, he's really hot. But I logically, we know this, right?
Yeah.
They're capable, they're smart, they can take care of me.
Yeah.
Why on earth am I putting up such a big fight?
Yeah.
And so it's because truly, and we've talked about this as well, is we are, you know, as a couple, you're really only truly happy when you are in your feminine and he is in his masculine.
Right.
And Brandon is nothing but masculine, but I just need to let go.
Yeah.
Let him. And so it's just going through what you go through. It's hard to let go.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think too, like, to your point, I do believe men want desire deeply, right? Whether or not they have the environment that nurtured it, told them how to use it, how to be that person.
Yeah.
I think deep down, purpose is monumental. Purpose is everything. And if I can't provide in some capacity to the best of my ability, what worth do I have here in this relationship, right? And if you are in a relationship with a beautiful woman, which you are,
thank you.
stunning and amazing and all the energy and all the everything, right? And you see that and you can't meet it, or somehow you feel inadequate to it, right? There's no place for you. And so I think for me, Cierra, and I'm interested, I'd love to hear your perspective. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because for me, it's like, I'm just so used to doing it by myself that somebody else that wants to come and help, I'm like, but why? Why would you? I got this.
Yeah.
I got this, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's not even that I'm trying to take it away from you.
But we'll get it done faster.
Of doing it.
And we'll get it done faster. Like, that's us women. Like, we'll get it done faster. Like, I know you'll get it done, but I don't want it done in 4 days or 2 hours.
Right.
I want it now.
I want it done now.
There goes my patience, right?
That's right.
But yeah.
Yeah. So letting go of that. It's the same. Like,
but
reminding myself,
is like
you need to do this.
Well, and just give yourself, like, you have to allow yourself to be patient and give yourself grace.
Yeah.
That I struggle with on a daily. Like, I don't know if we're talking about the church. We're not talking about the church, but
we can talk about the church.
Well, I have my patriarchal blessing, and whoever's
whoever's
part of the
LDS
church
will understand that.
But in it, and the reason I share this is because it's almost like it can't deny these things, but how well our Heavenly Father knows us. But it says you must be patient, not only with others, but especially with yourself. Yeah. And I look at that and I'm like, he couldn't have pinpointed me any more than he did. I am is a constant struggle every day to be patient and patient with, if things are going to go slower, that's okay. Yeah. My gosh, that's hard for me. Yeah. But if it goes slower, that's okay. If it's not my way, that's okay. Right. The kids are going to be happy. They're going to be great. Yeah. We need to just calm down on the control. But after doing it for so long, my gosh, it's so hard. Yeah. Well, and it's muscle memory, and you're the one that's making the decisions all the time. Yep. All the decisions all the time. Yes. So, to bring somebody else into that mix and somebody willing that wants to show up in that space as an equal to you. I feel like it's a hard, it's just, you have to constantly remind yourself that you are feminine. Yes. All the time. All the time. This might feel really nice to do that, to have you do that. It's so true. Sometimes if I get dressed up or something and Brandon's, he's tall and he's bigger than me. And, and I always I'm always looking at him and I always say, he'll laugh when he watches this, but I always am like, do I look feminine? It's like, yeah, you always do. I'm like, do I look dainty? I mean, yeah, you always do. I'm like, okay, because I just want to be feminine and dainty.
Right. Yes.
I just want, I know I'm not the smallest person
Yes.
in the world. I know I'm not the most feminine because I can burp like no one's business, but
good to know, Cierra. Things I didn't know about
things
Cierra.
you didn't know, things you didn't know. But you know, I just, someone to take care of me and just tell me that I'm, I don't know why we're so resistant. I just don't get it because it's really not how we were built, Carrie. Like we weren't built to be this way. It's a good thing and it's given us so much. Yeah. But I do think that is also a strength to be weak in that area. Yeah. You know, and let him take control. Well, and it's amazing what it does for you when you have a willing partner who desires to do that for you. Absolutely. And it's really coming from the best heart space possible, right? Yeah. I'm really surprised, Cierra, and I'd be interested in your perspective, but wow, I'm glad for adult dating. What a crazy roller coaster, right? But like, I'm so glad because I think there was a lot of resilience built in the experiment of dating, right? I learned so much about me. So much. You are way better than all of them. Yeah, right. Yeah, honestly though, right? Like you're like, oh, my bar's higher than that. Like that's real. And you didn't know that. You didn't even know what your bar was before, you know? And so going through that experience, I think for me, there was so much forward progression in dating. And I really would love to see more women date for the experiment of dating to learn about themselves than dating to fill the void, to find the one, you know? And because I think when you do that, to your point, for, you know, you and Brandon, like you dated enough and you dated Brandon. Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, Brandon and I broke up about 4 or 5 times. Yeah. I remember you telling me that. It was quite the roller coaster. But again, he was my first boyfriend after the divorce, right? So I'm going back and forth and but I mean, there was a lot of that. I would say even half of the times we broke up, I think it was me just trying to figure myself out. Right. It wasn't necessarily Brandon. It was just, or we both needed to figure ourselves out. Right. Yeah. And so, that was my experience was like, I'm a much more resilient single woman as an adult because I was willing to go into relationships, not even just relationships, but just to go on dates with people. Just like, I just want to go to dinner and just see what I like and see what I don't like and see what works. And thank you so much for dinner. That was lovely. And I wish you well. Yeah. You know? And vice versa. I probably won't see you again, but this is good. And vice versa, you know? So I really love that. I sense that energy in you too. And I know that there were other dates that you went on as well to experiment, you know, to find that space. Yes. But, you know, coming together, I think in that capacity, experimenting in that way also shows you the feminine qualities that you have kept that are still significant and important to you while you're out there building up that masculine face so that you can do the business, so that you can have the conversations, so you can go to the networking lunches. Yes. And put that mask on that says, oh, I know it all. I'll look it up when you leave. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank gosh for ChatGPT. Right. So I really appreciate that this conversation about that. I don't talk to that many women about that experience, you know? So I appreciate you being the person that I get to talk to you about it. For sure. Absolutely. But, okay, Cierra. So this is what I really want to know. What have you learned about yourself as a working mom outside of the mom guilt that we're dealing with, right? On the daily, which I would just say mom learning. It's not guilt, it's learning. Sure. Right. I like that phrase. Yeah. Mom learning. Yeah. What have you learned about yourself as a professional person? What has being in this space taught you about you in terms of your interests, your capabilities, your things that fill your bucket? Like, what have you learned about you? You know, I will say that I've always liked people, right? I've always liked people. I didn't realize how much I love people. Yeah. I this job came so easy to me, and it's almost unfair how easy it came, in the sense that my job was to create relationships and to be a part of networking groups, talk about Minky, a blanket, a company that is just speaks for itself with its philanthropic arm and Sandy Hendry being the visionary she is. But my job is just to get to know people.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I didn't realize how much after losing Jack, after you lose anyone, you gain so much empathy. But with empathy also comes desire, and with desire comes service.
Yeah.
And so you have all of these things interconnected that I didn't know that I really cared about. It's none of anyone that I've talked to in the community has it been lip service.
Yeah.
I genuinely love others.
Yeah.
And I think that is a true gift that I have. It is not a mask. It is truly authentic. So I learned that about myself. I learned that I genuinely enjoy others and learning about their journey and learning from them.
Yeah.
As much as they learn from me, if they learn anything from me, but more I learned from them. The other thing is I realized that I actually balance my time better than I give myself credit for. When I first came on, like I said, I told Sandy one of the stipulations I had to have was I had to be home by 3:30 for my kids. I had to. And she gifted that to me and has still to this day, which has been so nice. And so being able to, like I said, I went to Ogden yesterday, come home. This is my typical Wednesday. I leave at around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Come home around 4 o'clock, 4:30, go straight to Smith's off in Springville, grab groceries for dinner, go straight home, make dinner, make sure that they're having a homemade cooked dinner. I mean, I love my ex-husband, his heart, but they only eat fast food over there. And so I'm like, being able to cook dinner for them, attend their sporting events, watch a movie with my kids, play with my kids, and then go to bed and then wake up and do it all over again.
Yeah.
And I think I'm tired. I think I'm used to being tired now. I think that ship sailed.
Right.
But I think I have a lot of mom guilt, but I also think that I am doing a way better job than I give myself credit for.
I would agree with that. So, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cierra, it's really quite an honor, the position that you're in. And I love that Sandy saw the potential and saw the grit and the desire and the need to have you come on board, because you don't talk about Minky really without talking about Cierra. Nobody does. I mean, people that know you, right? Minky is Cierra, like they're one and the same. And that's a beautiful reflection of Sandy and the brand that she's created also, and the people that she's brought into the company, and women like you, other moms, other single moms, women that are going through things in their life that are still able to show up and love talking about their job and love being at their job. And that kind of fulfillment is so powerful as a catalyst for growth, right? And so kudos to Sandy and to you for really taking Minky and making it an integrous organization from top to bottom. Like what a beautiful thing, Cierra. And I love that regardless of the pain and the suffering and the challenge of divorce and being in that space and losing your son, and here you are, you're like a fully baked muffin, girl. You know, you're out
Maybe
here.
Maybe some nuts in there.
You know, that's right. Yeah, we like nuts, you know. But like, you're doing the job. You're out there. You're embodying it. You have embraced it. It has become you. And I think that is just such a beautiful reflection of that grit and that determination and perseverance. And to your point, love, the love that you come to the world with, Cierra, it's so beautiful, and everyone feels that from you.
Thank you. Thank you. I owe Sandy everything, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just grateful. You know, you look back at hard times and you realize that, you know, the Lord was with you the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it's been in my life, which has been just beyond a blessing.
Yeah.
So.
I know. I keep thinking he's walking with me. I've had visions of me dragging him behind me.
You're like, keep
sometimes.
up.
And I'm like, I should rethink my relationship.
No, really though. I mean, anyone who's gone through a hard time, they look back and they're like, oh my gosh, he was with me the whole time.
All the time.
Know? And so I attribute a lot of my success to him and to, you know, I will say I maintained that relationship. I wanted to make sure I always stayed close to my Heavenly Father, but I also know that I wouldn't be here without him.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
Yeah.
The primary driver,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
The Optimus Prime
Yes.
of your life. If we're going to go to the Transformers route.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've ever compared God to Optimus Prime, but there you go. You had it here first. Today was
resilience.
the day. So, Cierra, I just love being around you, and I love that you took time out of your schedule, your very busy schedule, to come and sit here with me and just have a conversation about like all the things that we've talked about. You carry a beautiful spirit of resilience with you. I'm so grateful for you and for your friendship, and I'm excited for our friendship to grow.
Yes.
We just have known each other for such a short time, and I already feel like I've just known you for so much longer. Yeah. And I really want to just say to Minky in general and Sandy, thank you so much for uplifting the women in our community. Thank you for taking care of the women in our community and being heart-centered and focused on their experience as moms, women, friends, sisters, all of it. Mm-hmm. And when you wrap that blanket around you, it's exactly what it feels like.
Yes.
So thank you to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I appreciate the honest conversation we were able to have. So I appreciate it.
It's the only thing that happens here, girl.
I love it.
Therapy 101.
This is my jam. Thank you.
So,
now I don't have to go to therapy this week.
I saved you a whole $125. Exactly. You're welcome. No, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Refined Resilience. We hope you found inspiration in the stories shared and the small moments that remind us all of our strength. Remember, resilience is built not just in the big challenges we face, but in the everyday experiences that shape who we are. A special thanks to our sponsor, Build Them Bless, for making Refined Resilience possible. Until next time, remember, it's the small moments of resilience that make us great.